Hey, welcome to the PSY TaI Podcast, number 23. We're going to talk about the AMYGDALA and Psilocybin mushrooms and how studies are proving that is literally removing fear from people. Hey, welcome to the PSY TaI Podcast once again. I hope y'all having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time that this is coming at you. Take this energy now that we all in the same boat. We can start the conversation. All right. I'm so happy that y'all here. We can talk, we can chat about the amygdala and fear. Fear rules us a lot of times in life until you really break free from that thing. But it still tries to creep up. And that's when we get together and we see what we can do so that we can stay as far away from that fear as possible. Like, fear to me is just a 4-letter spell. It's a 4-letter spell that we place on our own lives and that we allow other people to place on our lives. But no, not over here, not no Tai'ers, man. So before I start anything, I gotta say, the PSY TaI Podcast does not condone the use of illegal drugs. Your body is your body. I'm not influencing you, telling you to do anything. What we do on this channel is we go over scientific articles that I found on the internet, and I display them as research and also give my 2 cents worth of past experience. This is all for education. All right, now that we gave the sponsors what they wanted. Well, not sponsors, the platforms what they wanted. They ain't giving me no money. We can keep going with this fear. Fear not only stops people from doing potentially life-changing awesome things like skydiving and bungee jumping, like y'all see Will Smith and stuff. I plan on doing that in my life as well in the future, or the now, because the future is now. I'm creating it now. I was watching this cool. I ain't gonna get too drunk. I'm staying on subject, but what I was saying was, it not only can stop you from that kind of fear cannot stop you from those, but just from going outside, from breaking habits that you know are not benefiting your life, like watching too much TV, eating the wrong food, like those, not eating the wrong, but eating foods that are harming you, whatever your diet calls for. And whatever type of body you have, we all got different types of bodies. But all in all, fear stops you from changing those habits all the way down to that level. Because you're like, oh man, I've always been like this. This is what the people eat around me, or this is what I change myself into, like whatever the case may be. And also fear stops us from trying new things, going to new places. Like, I moved from Philadelphia to California, like mostly on a whim bug. I had a couple months planning a little bit, but the whole cross country, just me and my loved one and daughter, that's all. Like, you got to be able to take chances, and fear would have stopped all of this from coming up. Fear saying I gotta hold on. We so scared to let go. Just let go is what I am doing more and more every day, and I'm seeing the benefits beyond belief, or it's catching up to what I really always believe reality can be. Because I don't have a gloom. I don't have all gloom and gloom thing about life, like how I view life on the outside and such like that. I'm chilling. I like to see the brighter side of things. And when I see myself nowadays going into that fear complex, I feel different. I don't feel right. I want to run away. I want to stop everything that I'm doing and not just start all over, but recollect and be like, all right, how did I get myself in this situation? Why am I in this situation? Okay, all right, let it go and wait for a new idea to pop up. But usually I just keep going and say, oh, it's wrong, it's going to mess up, it's never going to be right. No, F this, man, fuck. Like, but now I'm like, all right, I can see the brighter side. But before we get into it, man, the amygdala, I hope I got the right one. Boop. There we go. The amygdala is this thing in the brain. And what scientists are now seeing is how psilocybin containing mushrooms, and my guess is to say other psychedelics like dimethyltryptamine and probably LSD and mescaline also do these same things. But what they see in these psilocybin tests is how the Amygdala controls your emotional responses. Let me get back on there. For those that don't know, TAi is when you combine your mind with your heart. Let that circle keep spinning. Let whatever come out, just come out. You just let it be. Just let yourself flow. And the amygdala is what controls the... also controls our fear response, how we respond to fear. I have an article I'm going to bring up. I'm just tying on my 2 cents. But the amygdala and the psilocybin mushrooms, seeing how the brain circuits or something, we're gonna go in here, but something is growing or something is shrinking or neural pathways being transformed, but in this amygdala, and some crazy things happening. Let's go to it. Let's go right to it. Bang, got hotkey. Oh wait, yeah. I am so sorry. I also wanted to talk about. Before I got into all of that, I also wanted to talk about how these people, this big biotech company, so they're dealing with biotech. Like, imagine that's cyborg technology. We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna tell you while I'm reading the article. But they are funded, they put up $25 million. Y'all probably saw that headline already. But $25 million so that they towards psychedelic research. $25 million. Wow, this is amazing. I've not heard of any money being put towards psychedelic research, plant medicine research, life-changing research like this. So I want to really get into that first, and then we're going to get into the amygdala and psilocybin containing mushrooms and all that other jazz. All right, a biotech company has raised $25 million to help unleash a virgin market of psychedelic research. Hey, if y'all need anybody for research, hit your bro up. Hit up Captain Naga, aka Ty. I would love to be a part of it. All right, the new biotech company. All right, let's scroll down on this. All right, here we go. Can y'all see that? Let me make sure y'all can. Make it a little bigger. There we go. A new biotech company has raised $25 million to finance research on the effects of psychedelics and other drugs on depression and other mental illnesses, called a Tai'ers. Oh, whoa! TAi, shout outs to the Tai'ers. They got the Tai'er in the name. A TAi Life Sciences. The company owns a large stake in a company called Compass Pathways, which is backed by Peter Tai'er. Yeah, salute to you. German entrepreneur and investor Christian Angermayer founded a TAi. Yo, that's so wild that they got a TAi. Angermayer also said he planned to invest in research focused on drugs that can help fight aging and extend life. Excuse me, where did that come from? Yeah, hold on, we got to read about this. In June, an under-the-radar startup backed by Silicon Valley tech mogul Peter Tai'er made enough psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, to send 20,000 people on a trip. It was part of the larger effort by the company called Compass Pathways to study how psychedelic drugs could be used to treat depression. It was just the beginning. Wow, dudes. Wow. 20,000 people. I said a lot of people out here are doing things that they're not telling you, and they're keeping it secret. So we're starting this to start the conversation, because you don't have to be tons of rich to finally speak out about your life. Or I don't know. Or I see how a lot of psychonauts on my level, like, we wait until we get up there to talk. But don't wait. Just talk. Start the conversation. This is the PSY TaI Podcast 23. Let's get back to these 20,000 people being dosed. It was just the beginning. On Wednesday, German entrepreneur and Compass investor Christian Angermayer launched a new startup, a biotech company focused on financing more of a kind of research that Compass is doing, called ATai Life Sciences. The company has already raised $25 million from investors like ex-hedge fund manager Mike Novogratz and Icelandic entrepreneur Thor. Thor came down to Earth to fund the psilocybin research. I'm not even going to butcher your last name. ATai also owns roughly 25% of Compass, which Tai'ers has funded. Atari's goal is to fund more studies that explore the therapeutic potential of psychedelic drugs like psilocybin and others on mental illnesses such as depression. In the past, nonprofit efforts at doing this kind of research have run into many obstacles. Yeah, nonprofit, they don't got that much money. From a lack of funding to a difficulty enrolling enough patients for their trials. Anger Mayer, is that really Anger Mayer? Hopes ATai, these names, man, can help address those issues. Telling Business Insiders he believes ATai will help unleash a virgin market for research. Well, shout outs to ATai, man. Alex Tu and Michael Action Smith, founders of popular meditation app Calm, also invested in ATai. All right, that's cool. Compass also raised an additional $33 million as part of the latest funding round, bringing its total to more than $38 million. Compass is already the world's leading producer of psilocybin for research. So these niggas that literally make the psilocybin that they sell to other people. Now they got a direct connect. They got their own research team. Because these scientists, like I always be pointing out to y'all, these scientists are legit. They're not going to go out there and do all these illegal things. So they have to work off the grant money and everything. And like just a dose of LSD or psilocybin for them to try out in America, for it to be like real trials and stuff, costs thousands of dollars. When it literally costs like $10. And some people just give away shrooms for free. Like, wow. I got some hotkeys getting this switch up down a little faster. Yeah, earlier this summer, the company received regulatory approval to begin one of the first large studies looking at the effects of psilocybin on treatment-resistant depression, a severe form of illness that does not respond to any other medications. Compass also filed for a patent on a form of the drug that it makes in the lab. They trying to file they trying to file a patent on a plant. It was gonna happen sooner or later, guys. But let's roll with the punches. In addition to his work on mental health, ATai will also fund studies of treatments designed to fight aging and extend life. Anger Mayer said to do so, the company is partnering with German-based Enopalex, like Interpolex, which uses AI to develop drugs. Whoa! They use They using AI? Whoa, what am I doing? Trip-bad. They're using AI to develop drugs? AI? Wow. That's a whole new thing I never heard about. Wow. I think it's the first time you probably hearing this. If it's not, leave it in the comments. I got some tea on that one. Man. I just bought this from the store. I don't really care for the vision name and stuff, but the stuff that's in there is pretty good. It's pretty good. But no, I'm not sponsored by them. Imagine the kind of drugs these AIs could make. Maybe if they get it so particular, they get it right. Or what if they, I don't know, what if this is just like a apocalypse type scene? They design a drug that they know that humans will never be able to treat themselves from. Oh, wow. But if it goes on the right path and stuff, the benefits would be astronomical because of how precise they can be with the information that they can work with when they're going into that brainstorming of designing the drug. But what can beat nature, though? I don't know. It's all nature. It's all nature. It's all nature. Man, oh man. 2018. All right, and this is a resurgent. Yeah, we know about this. We talk about this a lot on the PSY TaI Podcast, how psychedelic research is coming more into fruition, more into the foreground, a little more into the mainstream, little inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. So we making our way there, and it's being used. Others have looked at psilocybin's potential effect on depression, PTSD, and alcoholism. Compass Pathway Study, this is big. It got FDA approval. So like I said, it's getting a little more in the mainstream. Once the FDA, that's like the American government, get into the picture, that's when more people are going to start opening their ears to what people have been saying for thousands of years, or at least for 50, 60 years, since the 60s and stuff like that. But yo, let's get into this. Looks at the effect of 3 different doses of psilocybin: 1 milligram, 10 milligrams, and 25 milligrams on treatment-resistant depression. A standard dose of dry magic mushrooms is roughly 2 grams, or about 20 milligrams pure psilocybin. All right, I'm just working out the math in my head. Okay. Psilocybin, according to nonprofit educational organization Earwid, the JUSt the clinical trials involves 216 people enrolled across several research sites in Europe and North America. Hopefully some of them in America. All right, the magic mushroom ain't the only one getting attention. They got some other ones. Yeah, for at least 5 years. All right, 2017 indicated that ecstasy can help veterans cope with PTSD. 212. Wow. 2012 hinted that ketamine might curb major depression. Check out the PSY TaI Podcast. We did one on ketamine. I found some articles of some, like recent articles, some people that was using, it was an official, legit page too, that interviewed people about their ketamine use in clinical settings and out of non-clinical settings, how it changed their life. It was this old white guy in America that wanted to kill himself. Imagine that. Wow. And he gave up his dog, so that's what really took my heart away. But after that, he was cool at his psychotherapy treatments. David Nutt, the former drug chief advisor for the British government and current advisor to Compass Pathways, is optimistic about the federal approval process. He told Business Insiders last year that he expects to see psilocybin approved as a treatment for depression as 2027. That's a long time. But as you see with cannabis, things can speed up a little bit more. We'll see. Yeah, capitalism comes to psychedelics. Oh, these are some good topics they bringing up. Capitalism. Not everyone is thrilled for a non-profit company leading the research on psychedelics. So far, the bulk of the work of the field has been pioneered by research institutes and non-profits. Now that could change. Capitalism comes to, He estimated that by the time the clinical trials results from Compass come out in the fall 2019, it won't be more than 2 years until psilocybin becomes the first medically approved psychedelic for depression. After that, there will be no doubt that the drug works to treat depression, he said. Yeah, but that's a topic in and of itself. Talking about how capitalism will move into the forefront of psychedelics. People had this huge fear. I used to have this huge fear of Marley barrels coming out, which is mall barrels, but cannabis and weed and stuff like that. But it's going to happen, and people are already preparing for this. So it's inevitable. It's inevitable. The thing about it is that just like with cannabis, and we just got to keep speaking up on every level, every human being on every level of consciousness, on every level of money wise in this 3D realm, if you want to look at it like that. It's all different levels, and as long as we keep speaking up, really having these real conversations, and if it is your path, you're calling to be in that field and make a living in there, it's just gonna happen. Let the mushroom do the work. It gotta get out to, in my mind, to as many people as it can in the safest way possible. Not just all people running around the streets like chickens with their head cut off. But that's not what happens. But you know what I mean. Like, you be the one looking like your chicken with a head cut off because nobody else understands you, because they don't listen to the same type of person that you listen to that talk about the psychedelics and mind-altering drugs and chemicals and stuff like that. That's what I really mean by that. You don't really feel like that once you're on it, because once you have the experience, you know. You just know. But capitalism, when it comes to it, that's just about the money. Just about the money. And it's all about your personal responsibility, because it's still people coming up in the cannabis industry. And I used to think it was too late, but it's never too late for anything. It's never too late. Don't let the fear come to you. And that's a perfect transition into going back into the amygdala conversation, amygdala and psilocybin, and how it can help with this fear process and how we process fear as human beings on this dimension of Earth. Gotta get real particular for some folks out there, because I know how I am. But we gotta do that. We gotta do that because this fear is holding us back from experiencing what's really out there for us. I'm not really out there for us, who we really are. Like, sometimes I feel like we trapped here. Like, this is a trapped dimension. Like, we have fun, we experience lovely, awesome things, but we're trapped. But there's a way out, and that's what we in here for, on the big massive scale. Like, I know this is just a slither of reality that I'm even talking to you in right now. It's just a tiny slither, and it's so huge what's out there. But on this podcast, I'm just talking to. I like to talk and just tie to all sects of people. So it's not just to the heavy psychonauts, and not just to the people that never heard of anything. I'm just being me. I have thoughts that go out all the time, but I know I wish to reach certain messages out to certain levels of people, because we all in this game together. We all in here together, man. And I can't stand people that act like we're not. So I'm not going to act like that. Watch that karma come back on me. The house. I love that this camera focuses, man. That's a huge step. Alright, so let's get into this amygdala. What is the amygdala? I got an article that can help us out a little more, just so we got a nice visual. Alright, amygdala. Location, part of the limbic system at the end of the hippocampus. Function, responsible for the response and memory of emotions, especially fear. The memories of emotion, how we remember that fear. It's okay to feel fear from time to time. Don't beat yourself up about it, but that memory of fear is psilocybin's going, and meditation and therapy is going to help us figure out. When you think of the amygdala, you should think of one word: fear. The amygdala is the reason we are afraid of things outside of our control. It controls the way we react to certain stimuli or an event that causes an emotion that we see as potentially threatening or dangerous. Exactly how I was saying earlier. I thought they was going to say a little more. Numerous studies have been performed where researchers have used deep listening procedure where a thin wire is inserted into the brain to remove or terminate a part of the brain to remove the amygdala of rats. After this procedure, the rats were said to have no fear of anything, even cats. Wow, Tom and Jerry. Jerry had... Jerry, no, not, yeah. Jerry had no amygdala. They took Jerry amygdala out when they created him. He did not fair time. He was always trying to F up that cat. He was always trying to mess up that cat, bro. Oh, God. That's too funny. Jerry really... Yes, I laugh at myself. At my own jokes. But y'all see, because I kind of... Sorry about that. I scanned a little bit of the next article. So remember this part. Remember this part where they said they removed the brain of the rat. I mean, not the brain. They removed the amygdala from the rat. And then the rat literally did not respond to any type of fear once they literally took out the amygdala like with a wire and took it out that rat's brain. Like, salute to the sacrificed mice. In the end, I don't know how much longer they lived. They didn't say that. But salute. Alright, let's get back. Let's get to this last article I got for y'all. All right. Increased amygdala responses to emotional faces after psilocybin for treatment-resistant depression. And now this is from the neuropharmacology. This is from a neuropharmacology article, and doctors and stuff went in on this. We're going to go over the names as we usually do. So shout outs to Leor, shout outs to Lycia, shout outs to Matthew, shout outs to David, shout outs to Robin Harris. It's getting a little hot in here. All right, let's scroll down. All right, these are the highlights. Psilocybin with psychological support. Wait, where is this from? Yeah, this is from Science Direct. That's where this is from. You can see it all up there. Psilocybin with psychological support was used successfully to treat depression. Amygdala responses to fearful faces were increased one day after psilocybin sessions. Increased amygdala responses predicted positive clinical outcomes. Psilocybin-assisted therapy treats depression by reviving emotional responsiveness. Wow. Now, what you got to say about that? Good news. I love good news. I love good news. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's get back. Bang, bang. I keep switching to that side. All right, this one going to load a little slow, but we're gonna. There we go. Don't speak deaf. Don't speak what you don't want. All right. This is the abstract. Let's go over this. Recent evidence indicates that psilocybin with psychological support may be effective for treating depression. Some studies have found that patients with depression show heightened amygdala responses to fearful faces, and there is reliable evidence that treatment with SSRIs attenuates amygdala responses. We hypothesize that amygdala responses to emotional faces would be altered post treatment with psilocybin. In this open label study, 20 individuals diagnosed with moderate to severe treatment-resistant depression underwent 2 separate sessions with psilocybin. Psychological support was provided before and during and after these sessions, and 19 completed FMRI scans 1 week prior to the first sessions and 1 day after the second and last. I gotta bring this so I can scroll back down. Sorry, I see a whole kind of different screen than y'all see. All right, we hypothesize, 20. No. All right, psychological support was provided before, during, and after these sessions in 19 completed FMRI scans 1 week prior to the first session. In 1 day. Okay. There we go. Fearful, and happy faces were presented in the scanner, and analysis focused on the amygdala. Group results revealed rapid and enduring improvements in depressive symptoms post psilocybin. Increased responses to fearful and happy faces were observed in the right amygdala post treatment, and right amygdala increases to fearful versus neutral faces were predictive of clinical improvements at 1 week. Psilocybin and with psychological support was associated with increased amygdala responses to emotional stimuli, an opposite effect to previous findings with SSRIs. This suggests fundamental differences in these treatment therapeutic actions, with SSMRI migrating negative emotions and psilocybin allowing patients to confront and work through them. Based on the present results, we propose that psilocybin with psychological support is a treatment approach that potentially revives emotional responsiveness in depression, enabling patients to reconnect with their emotions. That was a beautiful read. That was beautiful. So they're literally seeing how it changes functions in your amygdala so that you're able to actually respond to emotional faces as you probably should. This culture, I was too. I was real intellect. If you want to get into metaphors, I was real left brain. I've developed into a real left brain character. And what that is, I was real caught up in my intellect and real caught up with logic and everything. So I comprehended my emotions to a T. I comprehended all of my emotions to a T. And I let them be displayed the ways that I wish them to be displayed. I responded to things the way that I was programming myself to respond, which was just to be like solid face about it. I'm from the projects in Philly. Like, life develops people to be hard. Even like I'm still was loose in life, but even more than me, life develops people to be really hard. And I was on that path. Like, I was cool and chilling, but I still had a lot of ways about me that was, you would know I was from a city and not from a town. Put it like that. You know I was from a city. And after my psilocybin experience, I was able to respond to people, like these faces that they talking about, exactly how they do it. Like, I'm like, oh wow, this person really smiling at me. Wow. Like, it made me in response want to smile more instead of just be like, yeah, or just yeah, like, you know that front face people throw on. I used to be so into building up this whole philosophy on how I've developed a face and how everybody had a face that they were just putting on just to get throughout the day. I used to write poems and all of that stuff about putting on a face. And that's what a lot of people are doing. So you're seeing with this, and they say it at the end, it allowed you, for me, being that open to expression allowed me to express myself more in that situation. And that's why I'm always saying, start the conversation, because conversation is a form of expression, because you're not thinking, you're not really planning out what you're going to do. You're just talking out how you feel. And when that happens under the psilocybin, for me, trips, like I used to go out in the woods and stuff like that in my past experiences, and partake in psilocybin by myself, just out in the woods hiking and stuff. And sometimes things will happen. Fearful things will pop up, And I would be like, oh, I'm tired, or it's hot. But I'll say, oh, I'm just gonna breathe. I'm just keep going through and working and walking. Or if I was meditating in the woods, I would just sit there, a thought come up, or animals, I would just sit there and not be fear. Or if the fear comes up, like I would literally fear, like usually like, man, I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of shit, man. Like, y'all some wimps, y'all some PUSs. Like, I don't know why y'all acting like y'all some girls, man. Y'all need to man up. Like, I come from that culture, so that's how a lot of us are as well. So we hold in a lot of our emotions. So we still see ourselves displaying something, but it's not really us. It's a front, it's an act, it's a role. And I caught myself playing it. During my psilocybin. During my LSD sessions, I mean my first LSD trip. No, I can just say when I started microdosing LSD, but especially when psilocybin, which is what we're talking about now, it really was like that. It was really a lot. It really pushed me to work through fears, because I will always say I'm chilling, ain't nothing on my mind, ain't nothing bothering me, I'm alright, I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm alright. And I was acting alright. I put on the front of acting alright, and that's what it was. I was always acting alright. I'm loving this show. I saw the first episode of Kidding with Jim Carrey. She comes on Showtime. And he plays like a kind of Mr. Rogers type character, but he doesn't show any anger even in his regular life. And his child passed away, and he's holding in all his emotions and stuff like that. But he wanted to talk about death during the show. He wanted to talk about death. But they wouldn't allow him. They saying, you're this character, you can't do that because the kids look up to you as this kind of person. The kids always look up to you, and the parents invite you into their home because of the way your hair is, because of the way you talk, and how you're so loving and stuff like that. He's like, no, I want to talk about death, so when they encounter it, they know how to release that emotion instead of holding it in and not knowing what to do when it happened. And the producer wouldn't let him do that because they just thought he was trying to deal with his own things, but he was on a bigger quest. So in the end of the thing, he cut his hair like that. In the middle, he's like, yo, this hair, I don't need this. Even his own daughter in there was called and said, Mom thinks you're a PUSSY pussy. And then I was cracking up. That's look at that show, Kenny. But that's just how what we talking about with the psilocybin mushrooms, because it allows you to work through that fear. And a lot of people fear death. A lot of people don't try to think of death. I remember doing my first LSD trip, I was trying to go to sleep 2 a.m, and I was like, oh, I can't think of death. Like, for some reason, once I was trying to go sleep, I closed my eyes, and I was like, oh, death or something. And I was like, we gotta play peaceful music, some Bob Marley or something while I go to sleep. That was a wild night. It was my first time. Forgive me. I mean, I forgive myself. But, it was tripping. It was, yeah, able to move through that fear. And Kidding, that was a good show, because he wasn't able to move through it. He wasn't able to let it go. He was still like saying, so should I go get a tattoo like you? Because his wife had got a tattoo on her boob, or her boob, and he's like, what should I go out drink? Should I go drink a lot? Is that going to solve the situation? So he was right about a lot of things, but he still didn't have that way of release. So just tie with me, and we can really see what's going on in this world when it comes to psychedelics and curing depression. Internet like just disconnected. When it comes to really curing depression and getting to the root cause, we hear a lot of people saying a lot of motivational things, but they're not. It's not for a lot of people. That step to get to that is not going to be in their reach for a very long time, and a lot of people don't have the time because working all these 9 to 5s, and they're taking our time. As I was hearing a conversation yesterday, what I totally agree on, and I'll be tying on this myself, is that jobs, when they say how are they going to try, shouts to True Life Stories. That's who said that. Shout out to True Life Stories. He was saying how he was tying on people always think, how are people going to take our energy? Like, how is things going to take our energy, and what are they using it for? What's going on? He was thinking about time. Like, our energy creates time. So they're using that time that our energy is creating for their profit or for their gain, their material gain. And that's wild. That's wild. Because that's what's happening. That's really what's happening. All around the world, millions of people every day. And then you hear people saying, you're not a man, or you're not nothing until you get a job or something like that. Like, no, go out and create a job. Create your job. Don't wait around. Like, it all, I know. We gotta start off. We got families to feed. We gotta do what we gotta do at times. Trust me, I'm here on earth too, as well. But we gotta take a step into the so-called forbidden zone in whichever way that comes to your mind when you tying in your own time. And really go out there and make a mark. Be a creator. Or else you're being created continuously. Continuously. Your reality is being created for you. I was thinking about apps and stuff like that. Like, it's the people that play apps all day and enjoy it, and it's the people that develop apps all day and enjoy it. We developers, we're creators. We came on this earth. I don't know, it's a lot of reasons why we probably came on this earth. Some say to help people. Some say they don't know. Some say to learn lessons. Some say to grow together. Some say to grow and learn that we already together. It's a lot of things. But this is the PSY TaI Podcast. And this is the first time I had caffeine in a long, long time. This tea had caffeine in it, and I didn't know until it was already steeped and I read the box. But whatever. I don't drink coffee. That's why I'm pointing out. People are like, yeah, coffee, caffeine is and everything. I don't drink coffee. Let's stay away from coffee. I had another. Sorry, guys. It's just so many browsers I got up. Hold on, is it more to this? Yes, I thought it was more. All right. Keep the podcast, keep the convo going. Talking about psychedelic therapy as a reemerging paradigm in psychiatrics. 2000, and that's the source right there. Unlike other psychopharmacological treatment models that seek to medicate patients on a chronic basis, the psychedelic model seeks to treat core psychological issues via a small number of profound and potentially transformative psychological experiences. Our recent label study of psilocybin with psychological support for treatment-resistant depression, TRD, treatment, yielded promising results, with patients showing some reduction in depressive symptoms at 1 week and a half criteria for remission at 3 weeks. Furthermore, other clinic studies with psilocybins have found reduction in anxiety and depressive symptoms after psilocybin with psychological support. I rest my case. So I can't rest my case. Then there won't be any more podcasts. The case goes on. Let's really dive deep so we can really learn and know what we're talking about when we're trying to display this to the world. Oh, that's what I had another article talking. All right, let's finish this one. I have another article talking about how does psilocybin do the opposite of antidepressants? Does the opposite of antidepressants. And that's a good thing. That's what they say. The amygdala is a complex subcortical structure that is sensitive to emotional stimuli. Functional MRI studies of untreated clinically depressed patients have found amygdala's hypersensitivity to negative emotional stimuli, and treatment with SSRIs have been found to attenuate this. I don't know what that means. Both with chronic SRI use as well as early in treatment prior to the appearance of clinical improvements. All right. Let's get to the juice. Let's get to the juice. All right. We therefore predicted that amygdala response to emotional phases will be altered post-treatment, and that this might relate to changes in depression severely. We were particularly interested in the fearful versus neutral phases contrast due to previous findings of reduced amygdala responses to negative emotional stimuli. We also predicted that the nature of the acute psychological experience under psilocybin would relate to post-treatment changes in the amygdala responses. All right, all these links is going to be in the description below. If y'all ever had anything y'all want me to read, send it. All right, they talking about the design, how they put the study together. How the patients attended a preparatory session with therapists so they can get a lot out. You want to be able to get a lot out before you go in there, because you already want to let a lot out. And when you know you about to dive deep into something like this, you start saying, I'm gonna let this out now. When you really know what's going on, you like, I'm gonna let some stuff out now that I'm feeling. Terrence McKenna and I agree. I do the same thing before going into these journeys. Since I sit and I let all the thoughts that I've probably been trying to not think about, I just let them run through right there before anything kicks in. All right, I'm trying to click on the browser. Gotta click interact. All right. All right, the rationale behind the first low dose sessions were to prepare patients to the high dose and build report for their therapists and test their willingness to let go. Yes, start low doses, work your way up. The material used to say, just take the high dose, take the 5 grams of psilocybin mushroom. There's a lot of different types out here. The first involved the low dose, 10 milligrams. The second, 25. All right, the rationale between the low dose. Yep. All right, let's go down. I'm not in a rush though. So thanks for tuning to the PSY TaI Podcast. We just keep things going and going and going. Sorry that's not live right now. I'm just trying to get this to go out real flowy. Had a lot of issues trying to get the last one out. All right, 2 therapists adopted a non-directive supportive approach. And they got the MRI scans. They were conducted prior to any psychological or pharmacological interventions. And the post-treatment fMRI scans occurred the morning after the high-dose psilocybin research, prior to any psychological integration work. Scanning sessions took place at identical times of the day. 10 a.m. I love 10 a.m. Out of the initial 20 patients, 19 completed both scanning sessions. 6 females, mean age 44. I'm telling you, on the PSY TaI Podcast, y'all gonna get all the details that I'm able to bear reading. Not even just bear reading, but that I think should be emoted. What is that word? Images were acquired using the... I mostly don't read stuff that I don't know what it is, period. Like, that's the machine, the ADNI Go. That's the machine that took the MRI scans. All right, the emotional face test was a block Design task lasting 8 minutes. Patients were shown faces with either fearful, happy, or neutral expressions selected from the direct emotional face set. An equal number of male and female faces were selected for the task. Each face were presented on the screen for 3 seconds, and 5 faces of the same expression were presented in each 15-second block. This if y'all want to recreate it. But I do not promote the use of illegal drugs on this channel at all. Education. Rest blocks, also 15 seconds, were also included, and there were 8 repetitions of each block type, presented in a pseudo-random sequence, 32 blocks in total. 2 versions of the task were used. Let me start scrolling down now. I gotta open up this whole other thing to start scrolling. There we go. 2 versions of the test were used, with one presenting blocks in the reverse order of the other. Order of the task versions on each scanning visit with counterbalance across patients. Patients passively viewed the faces but were instructed to press a single button with their thumb with the presentation of each new face to confirm that they were paying attention to the stimuli. That's cool. Just TAi. Just TAi. Just TAi. I don't really know that much about the amygdala to talk about that. But they was talking about how they tested the actual way that they tested the amygdala. Yeah, they used 2 different approaches to investigate the changes of amygdala activity. The first involved calculating mean amygdala signals of the left and right amygdala ROIs. The second involved Volxy's analysts within the bilateral amygdala mask. For both approaches, a standard general linear model was used for the first analysis. Scroll down all these things that's not. Alright, contrasts were defined that isolated activity related to each stimulus condition, fearful, happy, neutral, relative to the baseline, and also compared between 2 stimulus conditions and appropriate, fearful greater than neutral and happy greater than neutral. 5 contrasts in total. 2 tailed t-tests were performed to compare versus. Yep. We're going to scroll down. I think it's about that time, right? Leave a yes in the comments if I did the right thing right now for you. Because I know it's working for me. I'd rather not confuse myself. All right, results. All right, they're giving numbers, talking about how to right amygdala. They're giving points and stuff and happy faces. Oh, did I see a chart? Oh, I'm going to love when I get to that chart. Okay. All right, I see how they're making me scroll on this. This is so weird. Like, I'm not clicking. I just got to. All right, let's go down. Let's try to find the results. Let's just go to the results for guys. Let's go to the results for y'all. All right. Relationship with clinical outcomes. Remember, I don't cut nothing out neither, so that's why all of this is going to be here. All right. Increased bold responses were observed in the right amygdala, happy faces. No significant result was observed in the left amygdala for fearful, happy. Yeah, yep. All right, so I was right where I wanted to be. Before, so this is a chart. This is a chart explaining how, so thanks for still tuning in with me. This is a chart explaining how the before and after the psilocybin treatments, the amygdala responses to fearful, happy, and neutral faces. And how it really is a jump, like you really are there. You're really aware of what's going on in your environment, within yourself, within that person, all at the same time. All right. And what is this? Oh, we got an FMRI scan. They put it up on here. Thank you guys. And I'm gonna download that high res. Put on my wall. But it says happy, fearful, happy, neutral over there. And look at, and you can see the amygdala lighting up right there. That's in correspondence to what they were seeing. Cool. So I'm a nerd. I'm everything, so I gotta be a nerd too. Hello. Cool. Nope, they got another chart. They have another chart. All right, another chart giving some different angles. Now, let me read this part this time. Whole brain VOXY changes. Significant clusters that showed increased hot colors or decreased cool colors. Responsibility after therapy. Sorry, that word is so grayed out. I can't read it. It's another cool chart. Right here, it's all like going at. I wish the mouse came up. I gotta figure out how to do that so I can see where the mouse is, where I'm pointing to. I just observe, just TAi, just TAi, just TAi. Cool, save me some. All right. Relationship with clinical outcomes. We hypothesis. Is she okay? We hypothesize. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I'm so sorry for that. We hypothesized that the increased amygdala responses was related to changes in state depression measured via in-scanner ratings of depressed mood and changes in trait depression measured via BDI sources at baseline and 1 week after therapy. Other exploratory relationships are shown in Table 1. This is the table. You got all the charts. All right. So cool. State, all right, inner scanner range. State, I just want to see what this is. State depression, 0 through 20, was rated by patients directly after their 8-minute FACES scan. 1 day after psilocybin showed a clinically meaningful response and treatment response was significantly related to increased amygdala response to fearful greater than neutral faces, with greater activations relating to better outcomes. With greater activations of the amygdala. So I thought it was going to tie together. I thought it was going to tie together at first with removing the amygdala and fear, but I don't know, in some way it probably does. But you see, with increased amygdala response, like the more you actually using your brain, the more it's pumped up, the more they saw the FMRI scans, the more your neurons and everything are connecting with each other. Neurogenesis we get into is you're actually creating new brain cells. Like this is grow your amygdala stronger. You're able to be more emotional and be able to be into everything, so you're able to deal with it when it's there and be able to extrapolate your feeling. Be extravagant with your feelings on a daily basis, like creating art or whatever kind of project you into, like being able to put your spirit there and put your all into it. That's what I want. That's what I've been wanting, and that's what I'm doing. And it's cool. It's a nice world. But the activation of this amygdala by the psilocybin perpetuates this, throws it into an actuality, so that you're not just talking, your way out of things, but you're actually changing things. You're like, the talking works. The words create reality. That's why you gotta be careful how you use the word fear and how you let fear be placed in your life. It's a 4-letter spell. But other than that, you can't talk your way out of everything. You can't convince yourself you're out of everything. Eventually, I don't know, when you really like lying to yourself, like when you feel as though you're lying to yourself. But with these things, you're able to really get out there. Because people out here that's trying to get over and conquer depression for like 50 to 60 years, and they're cool, they got money and stuff like that, but they still have this hole in their chest. Deep hole in their chest that they're not able to fill with anything. We gotta fill it with ourselves. That's what the psilocybin taught me. Filling it with our own love. Then we're able to project it onto others, or reflect it, or is reflected back, because everything is reflection. So we see the reflection of our inner self more. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Make sure y'all share this page, please. Share this with your friends, family. All right. It's the effect of relapse. If y'all was wondering about relapse of this, 13 subjects were responders 1 day after therapy, and 9 maintained response 5 weeks after therapy. Therefore, we looked at the difference in the amygdala response between the 4 relapsed and the non-relapse subjects at 5 weeks, and found no differences in amygdala activation between these subgroups. So what are they saying? Are they saying that and what is relapse? Does that mean that they started being fearful again? Probably. It was all about keeping up your meditation so that you can become aware of who you are and who you are at the nitty gritty. Meditate, sit with yourself, whatever it is you do when you be sitting with yourself and with your thoughts. All right, discussion. Yeah, we already discussed it right now, right? So I'm just gonna make sure I get to the end. All right, this is their quotes. I like quotes. It felt so much lighter, like something had been released. It was an emotional purging. The weight and anxiety and depression had been lifted. They don't give their name. Oh, I felt a sense of acceptance, more acceptance of agony, boredom, and loneliness, a willingness to try to accept the negative times, but also an appreciation of the wonderful times. And 2 patients' testimony from recent psilocybin treatment-resistant depression trials. Wow. And this study was funded by the Imperial College Scholarship Scheme. And we're done with this. That was awesome. Honey mustard. I felt the sense. Yes. That's the thing. All right, that's gonna be the last part of the conversation. I don't know. I'm trying to predict the future. What was going on? The willingness to accept the good with the bad. Not just look out for the good and not ignore the bad when it comes, and shut yourself out from the world and how you feel. That's what I did for years and years and years and years. I'm 27 now. I'm 26 now. I'll be 27 in 2 months. And I've been through the stages. I've been through some stages of being emo, depressive, suicidal, the works. I never abused anything. So it was just me and my thoughts. Well, I abused marijuana. I used to very much abuse marijuana, but I didn't see it much as abuse because people around me, and I see it as medicine and stuff. Each his own. But I learned a lot since then on when and how much intake, and whenever. Then back then I used to smoke how much. I used to stuff the L every single time. Just stuff it till it was just stuffed. But other than that, I used to shut myself off from listening to negative news. From responding to negative news. Just like the guy on Kidding, Jim Carrey I was talking about. But my mom would even be saying, like, yeah, I know you don't like to hear bad news. I know you don't like when I tell you bad news. And then sometimes she still tell me anyway. But that's the stigma that she had, that she felt, the vibe that she felt from it. But nowadays I'm like, Mom, just tell me. It's something that's on your heart that you want to get out. It's okay if it pops up and it's something like, I guess I was always running away from what's my personal responsibility to do with this. What is my personal responsibility? And my mind, and like on that level in my personal life, but my mind was also very weird back then, even before psychedelics. And I used to think I was just responsible for people's happiness, for everybody's happiness all the time, on many different kinds of levels. But I didn't have myself build up to the point to even think of doing that kind of stuff to the point where I can actually benefit them in a way that can actually uplift them and not just keep us both on the same level, or take energy from me and just place it on somebody else and not have a backup plan for me, because I still didn't really have the complete solution to what was going on, just the earthly solution. But nowadays I know about the 4th, 5th, 10th, all those dimensions, and as above, so below. Can't change things here. You gotta work on the ethers and work on the things up there, and then it percolates down to this reality. That's just what I believe. That's just how I live my life. What my ego has come to most believe. Which is most true. But I'm so happy I was able to work out through these fears. Because even in my personal relationship with my daughter's mom, it allowed me to not run away from a lot of fearful things that would pop up and bury it, and not have conversations that we were supposed to have, but allow me to say, wait, I'm in a kind of calm place where I'm willing to say what I did, as long as you're willing to say what you did. Not as long, even if you're not willing to say what you did, but I'm willing to spark that conversation. And that's all it takes, is to spark up a conversation with somebody, and to really get to the nitty gritty of what's going on, or else the same thing is just going to keep happening over and over and over again. And even on deeper levels, like I like to talk about, I'll go. Right now, I just had a flashback of me riding a bike. And me falling on the bike and not wanting to ride it again. Then I started riding again. I think I skipped training wheels. Yeah, I really did skip training wheels. Why does the internet keep coming up? Oh yeah, but working through fears and working with my daughter, now that I'm in a place where I'm able to work through my fears a lot more, and I'm not resisting fears, I'm able to let go and say, all right, this is the situation. I don't care how messed up it is. This is the situation that I put myself in. I'm going to enjoy it and keep my mind clear and know that this is just an illusion that I wanted to experience right now. So I know I can get the right answer out of this. But if I panic, I'm just going to think I'm just this lonely old thing running around, and I ain't never going to get nowhere. And the ideas that I come up with under that state are based on a false presence of what I believe of what life really is. And that's when I build more traps and more traps to myself. So constantly, I'm staying aware of my fears, staying away from that spell, and allow me that when I see my daughter going through her things, I'm able to see her processing fear and seeing if she's gonna be scared of something or not. Not all the time with her right now. It's instantly. She's really intelligent, right? Everything with her is instantly. She's able to process some things sometimes, except for hair. She's really scared of random strands of hair. Not in food. I mean, in food too, but just anywhere. I could put my whole dread and stuff on her, but if it's just a single strand of hair on stuff, she's like, what's going on? Ah! I remember feeling like that during my first psychedelic session. Because somebody was doing hair in the room, and I'm like weave or whatever, and it was hair everywhere, and it was like sitting on my skin and stuff, but my skin was so sensitive that I was able to feel it, and it felt so foreign. I wasn't able to comprehend what it was. So maybe that's what's going on with her. All the time she just not able to comprehend what's going on. But I be thinking she be playing with me. Like, that's what people like, oh, you just tripping. When people tripping, they really going through something, whether they on a plant medicine or not. So let's lend out our hearts more to people. Let's lend out our hearts more. I'm doing that myself. To strangers and even to family members that I haven't talked to in a long time. It's a lot of family members that I disconnected myself to, and then I would blame myself over and over because I wouldn't want to go through that fear of feeling like, oh man, I play a part in this role too of not calling. So that not wanting to experience that fear of my personal responsibility, I let a lot of family members slip through, a lot of old friends slip through the grapevine, or just sink through the sewers, whatever, I don't know the metaphor, so that I can continue living this so-called happy life. As I see all through my psilocybin sessions, that was just the front, and really, I could have just called all the time if I would have just. I was able to deal with that, see that I was being fearful and deal with that fear in a way that I'm not going to say I can really all put into words, but it was in a way that I didn't hold on to past memories of me overthinking this thing of, I got to call this person because I love them and I wish they would call me first, or I wish we was more connected overall. I got over that overthinking. Like and when I press the numbers, I'm not even thinking, oh yeah, I'm getting over, just like, oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Yeah, what's going on? Long time no see. Oh yeah, I love you too, bro. I love you, cuz. I love you, Oak. Like, it's just natural for me. And still on the other line though, just to be funny, on the other line they be wonder why I'm so happy and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah. Because my family and other people, they used to call me a vampire. They used to call me a vampire. I used to experiment with black makeup around the eyes and everything. I was trying to externalize what I was feeling on the inside. But then on the outside, saying I wasn't feeling nothing. I know how y'all be feeling out here. I know how y'all feel. I'm just saying that. Whew. This is a very interesting podcast, I may say so. I was watching the Nikki Blazer and Joe Rogan podcast. And Nikki Blazer and Joe Rogan, he's talking about psychedelics. And she's a rich comedian, Nikki Blazer. She was so funny on there. She was so funny. I would support, go check it out. Go check out that Joe Rogan, Nikki Blazer, even if you just skip to the psychedelic part. But she was talking about how messed up she'd been in her life. She was anorexic and everything. She's made her way, and this for her family and stuff, but she made her way into a millionaire comedian, in my view. I'm talking from my view. She made her way to be a millionaire comedian. She cool. But still, she has thoughts of when she used to be anorexic. still sometimes she say thoughts try to pop up. So she doesn't feel comfortable about going out and preaching about telling the girls, yeah, just do this and do that and you can make it. Because she's still like, I'm still fighting at myself, even though she accomplished all these cool things. And she was talking about how she's been doing research. Nikki Glazer been doing research on psychedelics. And she thinks it's the new renaissance, that's my words, the new thing that's going to actually help people get over these mental illnesses that we're suffering from in this reality, such as bulimia and anorexia. I knew a few people that were anorexic in my high school, my former girlfriends, and became anorexic after a while. So I know this personally, how this happens. And it really is something that a lot that has to be changed, because it's a lot that just in our programming based on when we first came in the womb, we came to this earth, decided to play this game. We came out and we was like, wow, who are you? What is this? What's going on? So that's the life. But I'm just happy that she was able to say that, because she said she was asking Joe Rogan a lot of questions about what was going on with his life and stuff like that, was his experience with psychedelics. But I'm just curious about, I want to hear what happens after. I want to hear her comedy after, because I know she's going to put it in her comedy. But that's just a little tidbit what's on my mind, what I'm just talking about. Please, real quickly, please make sure y'all share this page and all the things. And plus, this music gives a good, time out rest. Y'all check out the Twitter, the Instagram. Or Just TAi now, or at Just TAi. As we see, psilocybin mushrooms, the dimethyltryptamine, the studies out there, people actually collecting reports. Hospitals are now collecting reports of people that have extraterrestrial visitations, or seems as though they've been abducted or seen entities and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people that seen that personally. So it's a lot being revealed. And science is going to wake up like a boom. It's going to wake up like a boom. And then y'all have to relearn every single thing that y'all learned in school, just like I did. Just like I had to learn everything from scratch. But it's fun. It's fun. You just have to find some cool people around y'all. Or just keep watching the PSY TaI Podcast. I'm going to put these out every day so we can build up a community of people. I'm going to get the internet popping a lot better in the future, and we're going to be live. I'm going to be live all the time, so we can just start the group chat, have conversations, be on at Pacific time during the day. But I'm not that good with schedules, but we'll see what happens. Anything is possible. We set our own limitations. Whatever is in the news today that y'all would like to talk about, or the news, whatever, just leave it in the comments below. Leave it wherever. I want to thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been PSY TaI Podcast number 23. And I want to say to y'all, we all Thai, but do we really Thai? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I don't know. Till next time, it's Captain Naga, Gay Thai, telling you to Thai always. Thank you for watching. Make your day.